Blue Button Bear and the Lost Treasure by Carter Anthony Wood. Blue Button Bear wakes up in his cave and he's roaring hungry. He saw some little trees with holes in them. So he scratched at them and red ants came walking out. So he grabbed as many as he could eat.
Yum! Yum! Yum!
He was still grumbly hungry, and he saw some big rocks on a hill. He picked a gigantic rock up and saw lots of moths in there. So he quietly tiptoed over and ate them all up. Then he slid back down on a flat rock. He was still hungry. He saw a stream. There were lots of salmon in it. A swarm of hornets tried to stop him, but he scratched them out of his way with a mighty roar. He ran away from them and jumped into the stream. Splash! He found the lost bear treasure, the biggest salmon ever. He ate it. Then he took a nap back on his warm, flat rock. Happily Ever After, or Gracie the Princess, by Mia Wong. Princess Gracie lived in a tall castle in China. She had dark hair, and her eyes were almost black. Gracie loved being a princess. Gracie spent most of her days drawing about her dreams. She dreamed that she would meet a prince, and they would fall in love. She would wear a sparkly purple dress and go to a fancy ball where everyone was dancing. The prince would ask her to dance. She dreamed they would get married and all the people in the kingdom would throw flowers at them. The prince and Grace built their own castle. Grace helped draw the plans because she was such a good drawer. They moved in the house and they had two little girls named Lily and Stacy. Gracie keeps drawing her dreams and hoping that all her dreams will come true. In her dreams, they lived happily ever after. The Camel That Didn't Like Being Hot by Emma Moraski. There once was a camel named Lisa that said,
I don't like being hot.
She gets too hot and sweaty. The other animals told her to go on vacation.
Go somewhere cold. Yeah.
Lisa decided to go to Antarctica. It was super cold. Lisa loves to go sledding and lick the snowflakes. She had to go to the store and buy a cute new hat and some mittens. She also loves rolling around in the snow and building a snowman. She wants to have a snowball fight, but doesn't have anyone to play with. She starts to miss her friends. She misses her buddies Taylor the kangaroo and Emma the rabbit. She is very sad. So she decides to go home. Emma and Taylor were so excited to see her. They wanted to celebrate. They didn't want Lisa to be too hot, so they went swimming. Lisa's happy to be with her friends, and everyone is having a great time. Being hot isn't too bad. I Cannot Get a Goal by Ain Cisse. One day, Romeo's mom signed him up for soccer. He started practicing. His coach started practice by kicking balls at the goal. Romeo was upset because his kicks kept going over the net and to the side of the net, but not in the net. He was very sad when his mom picked him up. They had to leave to go home, but he wanted to practice some more. He woke up the next day very worried because he didn't know how to make a goal. His mom said, "If you think you can and you practice hard, you will get a goal someday." That afternoon, he went to practice and tried again. And still the ball would not go in the net. His mom said, "Keep trying. Soon you will get it in." The next day was game day. The very first pass came to Romeo. He was so afraid, but he kicked it as hard as he could, and it went right in the center of the goal. His mom screamed with excitement, "Way to go, Romeo!" Romeo smiled and thought to himself, it was nice to have such a smart and loud mother. A Magical Day by Brianna Rollman.
Whee!
Panda slides down the rainbow. She falls faster and faster.
Whee!
She passes many colors. The colors swirl around her. Ah! She yells. She is dizzy from all the colors and twirling. Suddenly she stops. There are cupboards of every color, shape, and size. She opens a purple cupboard door and finds a wand. It is magical. She presses the button and disappears. Oh no! She turns into a stuffed animal and a little girl takes her home. Once she gets to the girl's house, she sees that the girl doesn't have any toys. Now the girl is happy. She has a snuggly new friend. When she wakes up in the morning, she looks under her bed to find her slippers. She finds 2 presents from the panda. She opens them and finds a magical wand that can take them back to the rainbow. They lived happily ever after. Try This by Libby Revelinsky. On Monday, my mom wanted me to try a tomato. It looked red and squishy. No way, I'm not going to try that. On Tuesday, my mom wanted me to try a green pepper. It looked green like the grass. No way, I'm not going to try that. On Wednesday, my mom wanted me to try a mushroom. It looked like a little white umbrella. No way, I'm not going to try that. On Thursday, my mom wanted me to try an onion. It made me cry. No way, I'm not going to try that. On Friday, my mom wanted me to try some noodles. It looked like worms. No way, I'm not going to try that. On Saturday, my mom and I mixed the tomatoes, green peppers, mushrooms, onions, and noodles together in a pot. On Sunday, we ate spaghetti. It was yummy. Bob Saves His Parents by Owen Morrison. A dragon named Bob lived with his parents. They did lots of fun things like shooting fireballs at targets. One morning, Bob couldn't find his parents. He was scared, but his parents had taught him to always be brave, so he went to look for them.
Mom, Dad, where are you? I am scared.
Bob met a troll in the woods. He remembered that his parents said to be nice to everyone you meet. So Bob smiled and said,
Hello.
The troll said,
Are you looking for your parents? I will show you where they are.
The troll took Bob to a cave. Bob went inside. He soon discovered he was in a maze. He was tired and confused. But Bob remembered his parents always said, Never give up. So he kept on going.
Mom, Dad, where are you?
Soon Bob heard voices. It was his parents. His parents were so happy to see him. They had been looking for dragon jewels and had gotten lost. They said,
Thank you for finding us, Bob.
Bob said,
It was easy. I just remembered all the things you taught me.
They all went home and lived happily ever after. Monkey Mischief by Sam Matuzik. Once upon a time, there was a mischievous monkey that lived in the zoo. His name was Steve. Steve wanted to be free more than anything else in the world. Every day, Steve stared at the people looking at him. He thought, I wish I could be free. One night, Steve made a plan to escape. He decided to jump out of his cage and escape when the zookeeper came to feed him. He ran as fast as he could and climbed over the wall of the zoo. On the other side of the wall, Steve found a car with keys in it. He jumped in and began driving. Steve did not know how to drive. He was swerving all over the road. He crashed into a fire hydrant. When he got out of the car, the water shot him up in the air. Steve landed on the Ferris wheel at the county fair. The Ferris wheel spun around and around. Steve got very dizzy. Steve was so dizzy that he fell off the Ferris wheel and landed in a bumper car. Everyone screamed and crashed into him. Steve was scared. Finally, the zookeeper found Steve. She picked Steve up and carried him back to the zoo. The zookeeper put Steve back into his cage. Steve was very happy to be back home. Messy Marvin by Sophia Matuzik. Once upon a time, in a tidy little town, lived a messy little boy named Marvin. Marvin had the messiest bedroom in the whole wide world. Every day, Marvin's mom said,
Clean your room.
Marvin always replied,
I will do it tomorrow.
Each day, Marvin's room got messier. It got so messy that Marvin couldn't even find his bed. So at night, he had to sleep on a big pile of clothes. In the morning, Marvin's mom said,
Wake up. It is time to go to school.
But Marvin's room was so messy that he couldn't find his backpack. After school, Marvin's mom said,
It's time to go to basketball practice.
Marvin's room was so messy that he couldn't find his basketball, or jersey, or his shoes. When Marvin came home from his basketball game, his mom said,
It's time to take your dog for a walk.
But Marvin's room was so messy that he couldn't find his leash or his dog. Later on that night, Marvin was trying to fall asleep on his big pile of messy clothes. He couldn't stop thinking about how messy his room was. He did not like not being able to find all of his things. Marvin decided to spend the whole night cleaning his room. In the morning, Marvin's mom came to wake him up. When she opened the door, she couldn't believe her eyes. Marvin's room was sparkling clean. Marvin said,
I will never let my room get messy again.
The Sneaky Brothers Strike Again by Ella Yee.
Oh no! My brothers are up to no good. I have two brothers that are making me frustrated. You see, they learned about magic at spell school and are now on vacation. They have been in their bedroom all morning. I wonder what they are planning. I hear Mom calling me.
It's time to take a bath, Ella,
she says. My brothers hear Mom and secretly pour shrinking potion into the bathtub. When I get to the bathroom, they throw me into the tub and I make a big splash. Mom hears the splash and comes running. My brothers hide while my mom looks all over for me, but she can't find me anywhere and leaves.
They shrank me to the size of a grape.
I try getting out of the bathtub, but I can't reach. My sneaky brothers take me out and put me in my dollhouse. The dollhouse is just right. Mom sees my sneaky brothers by the dollhouse and asks,
what are you doing?
They are in big trouble. Mom sees me in the dollhouse. She tells the boys to turn me back into the right size, but they don't know how. Mom says,
go to spell school and ask your teacher for help.
My brothers get into a carriage and drive to spell school. When they get there, the door is locked. My brothers know where their teacher lives. They head to Mrs. Carr's house and ring the doorbell. The door opens and Mrs. Carr asks, why are you here?
We used shrinking potion on our sister, and she is the size of a grape,
they answered.
Mom says we have to change her back.
Mrs. Carr said,
I have the growing potion over here. Let's make her the right size.
Mrs. Carr and my sneaky brothers get into the carriage and head back to the castle. They rush into the room, use the growing potion, and make me big again. Mom is so relieved that she gives me a big hug. I am relieved to be back to normal.
What Should I Be? By Sam Ellenbecker. My sister Megan is going to college in the fall. She is 18 years old now, and that means she is an adult. Adults have to get a job, and I have no idea why. You have to get up early, work for hours, and you can't play. Plus, jobs make you crabby. If I got to choose a job, I would choose something fun like a ventriloquist. I could talk all the time, tell good jokes, and creep everyone out because everyone seems to back away from mine. Or I could be a paleontologist. You get to dig up dinosaur bones and put them together like a puzzle. Plus, you can dig around in the dirt all day and not even get in trouble for it. Or maybe I could be a lion tamer. I can handle it because my cat is already terrified of me, and it doesn't stop me from chasing him around. Maybe I could join Stomp and make music by banging on things. My sisters say I'm louder than the whole group put together. My dad thinks I should be a Lego set creator because it looks like it was raining Legos in my room. I think he wants me to build something so that he doesn't have to risk stepping on them. Or maybe I could become President of the United States. No, wait. That job makes you crabby and gives you gray hair. A taste tester would be better, but for desserts only. I could eat dessert all day, and it might give me a tummy ache, but it would be totally worth it. A train engineer could be fun, because who wouldn't want to ride a train all day, and you get to wear a cool hat? Actually, I think I'll be an author and illustrator. You can let your imagination go wild and make people laugh out loud. I love writing and drawing, and I have more paper than Legos at my house. Well, now that I made my decision, I'd better go help Megan make hers. Megan! Wildflower Girl by Xylea Kleinfeld. In a land not very far away, there lived a little girl with a special power. She loved to plant wildflowers everywhere. The flowers were her paints, and the fields were her canvas. She used a wand instead of a paintbrush. She flew over the land and used her flower powers in many ways. She always left a wooden sign by every field of wildflowers that read,
Please don't pick the flowers. The flowers have magical powers. If you pick just one, the magic will be undone. Wildflower Girl.
One day, a gentleman named Professor Bloom came along a patch of wildflowers, and he couldn't resist their beauty, even after he read Wildflower Girl's sign. He picked the biggest zinnia he saw. Suddenly, all the colors washed away and the flowers wilted into seed pods. Then wildflowers started blooming from Professor Bloom's head.
Oh, my bachelor buttons! What am I going to do?
He exclaimed. Wildflower Girl appeared, and she had wildflowers growing from her head, too. She asked Professor Bloom,
Why did you pick the flower? Don't you know that there is a field of flowers in every bloom?
Professor Bloom apologized, but asked Wildflower Girl,
What can I do to make the colorful wildflowers return to the meadow and get them off my head?
Wildflower Girl said,
Please pick all the seed pods from each flower and scatter the seeds on the soil. When the first bloom appears, the wildflowers on your head will disappear.
Professor Bloom listened and began picking the seed pods. He noticed each seed pod from each flower had thousands of seeds, so he planted many fields of wildflowers. A few weeks later, the first bloom blossomed, and the flowers disappeared from Professor Bloom's head. Now he understood Wildflower Girl when she said, There is a field of flowers in every bloom. Wildflower Girl thanked Professor Bloom for making the meadow colorful again. He asked her,
Why do you have wildflowers growing on your head?
Wildflower Girl smiled.
Anyone can grow hair on their head. I like wildflowers instead.
Colorful Thoughts, a collection of poems by Rhea Matthews. Spring blossoms. Spring is calm and quiet. Flowers bloom, birds chirp. Bunnies hop around the fields. Look at the pretty daffodils. The air feels like wet grass. I smell flowers as I jog. They smell like delicious pie baking in my kitchen oven. While I watch through the window, ladybugs crawl in and out. Beautiful robins dig up worms on some warm, pleasant days. I hear raindrops pitter-patter on the rooftop. I wait for the colorful rainbow to see the pot of gold at the end. Dark. When I am alone in the creepy, scary, cold, dark nights, I have a bad feeling that I have been noticed by someone. I wonder who that would be. But when I turned around, It is only me and the dark. My visit to the city. When I go to the city, I thought I am a pebble stone standing by a skyscraper. I walk through the streets watching the big differences to my little hometown. Busy people walking down the streets. Yellow taxis waiting to be filled. Speedy subways approaching the station. Flashy stores with the newest outfits. Graceful ice skaters swarming the rink. And even some fire engines. I wonder if the city is always busy as this. I like the city as much as my calm hometown. I might visit the big city next year. Music. Music is a great bowl filled with inspiration, laughter, and relaxation. Music makes you happy, dance, think, and comfortable. Music is always around you. Wisconsin. Water, ice cream, skiing, orchard, nature, sausage, ice fishing, nice people. Winter is colorful. Winter is red like bright red poinsettias, stockings waiting for presents like Rudolph's red flashy nose, ready to deliver toys. Winter is gold like ornaments dangling from trees, beautiful lights over the bushes, like wrapping paper around the gifts for the kids all around. Winter is green like wreaths hanging from houses, frosted cookies waiting for Santa, like Christmas trees ready to shine and spread the joy of the season. The Many Colors of the Rainbow by Katrina Ohm.
There are many colors in the rainbow. There are 6 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The first color of the rainbow is red. A strawberry is red. Strawberries remind me of when I picked strawberries in the rain with my cousin last summer. My cousins and I had a lot of fun together, and we got the treat that was made with the strawberries before anyone else got one. The second color of the rainbow is orange. A pumpkin is orange. Pumpkins remind me of when we carved pumpkins for Halloween. I used to be afraid to touch the inside of the pumpkin, but I'm not afraid of it now. The third color of the rainbow is yellow. A dandelion is yellow. My sister and I rub yellow from the dandelions on our hands. We do it when Mom isn't looking. If she sees us, we will get in trouble. Now my brother will join us. The fourth color of the rainbow is green. A Christmas tree is green. Christmas trees remind me of Christmas when my family and I see our family members and when we have a good time together. At Christmas, we exchange gifts together and enjoy each other's company. The fifth color of the rainbow is blue. A blue jay is blue. Blue jays remind me of last summer when I saw many of them at our bird feeder and in the sky. Blue jays nest and lay eggs near our house, and I enjoy looking at them. The sixth and last color of the rainbow is purple. A grape is purple. Grapes remind me of the summertime when we pick grapes at Grandma's house with Grandma. We sometimes snack on the grapes while we pick them. Grapes are one of my favorite fruits. The rainbow has many different colors. From red to purple, they are all pretty. At the end of the rainbow, there is a pot of memories. Memories are worth more than gold to me.
The Weeping Willow and the Cat by Alexis Weira. One day, a farmer planted a small twig in the wettest spot in his backyard. All the beautiful trees from a nearby forest laughed at the twig. The twig became very sad and wept all day long. The night was falling and the twig felt very lonely. Suddenly, a mysterious animal with a sleek black coat and glistening eyes came out of the forest and approached the twig.
Are you a magician?
Asked the twig.
You are invisible in the dark and run as fast as the wind. Can you change me into a different tree? A strong oak or a beautiful maple?
Stop crying so loud, said the cat. You are disturbing my afternoon naps and scaring the animals in the forest.
Am I always going to be so ugly and small?
Asked the twig. You will be perfectly fine. Just believe in yourself, said the cat. He winked at the willow with his golden eye and vanished into the forest. The twig listened to the cat and grew very tall and wide. It took time, but eventually it turned into a beautiful willow tree. Its weeping branches grew all the way to the ground, providing privacy behind and beneath the tree. The animals from the forest started to visit the willow because it gave shelter and food. The elks, rabbits, and porcupines ate the tree's leaves, seeds, and twigs. It produced pollen and nectar to feed the bees. Butterflies, dragonflies, and moths loved the willow, and hungry caterpillars munched on its leaves. The willow didn't mind it at all and grew bigger and stronger. The tree hollows became homes for squirrels, opossums, and raccoons. Many songbirds nested in willow's cascading branches. Its bark and leaves were used by people to make medicine. The willow helped birds, animals, and people survive. During the winter, when all the trees were covered with snow, the willow was the most spectacular of all.
From a small twig, I became a tree of life,
shouted the willow. I told you so, said the cat. Just be quiet. I'm taking a nap. Raina's Really Wiggly Tooth by Evie Skyberg Greer. Raina wondered what it'd be like if the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy met. Easter was only 2 days away, and Raina's tooth was wiggly, very wiggly. Her friend Lulu told her if the Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy came on the same day, she'd get a golden egg and a ruby toothbrush. Raina tried to wiggle her tooth very carefully so it wouldn't fall out too early and so it would be loose enough for the big day. Is your tooth loose, sis? Asked Raina's little brother Rolly. But just like always, his shoelaces were untied, causing him to trip into Raina. My tooth! Raina yelped. Raina had to get her tooth back into her mouth. Maybe if she did, the Tooth Fairy wouldn't come until the next night. She looked into the junk drawer and found a roll of masking tape. She stuck the tape to the tooth and then jammed it up into her gum. It stuck, but not for long. She fetched some glue and put a big blob on her tooth. She stuck it into her gum. It tasted terrible. She grabbed some of her brother's Play-Doh and mushed it onto her tooth, then stuck it in her mouth. It tasted salty and stung her gum. She was out of ideas. What's wrong? Rolly asked. Raina told him about missing the chance to get the golden egg and the ruby toothbrush because her tooth fell out too early. Don't be upset, sis. Easter's tomorrow. At least you'll get your basket. The next morning, Raina found her Easter basket. No golden egg, no ruby toothbrush. Rolly saw Raina was still upset. He had to do something. Sis, you missed one. It's the golden egg with the ruby toothbrush. And they even left a note.
Good job on your loose tooth. Love, Tooth Fairy, and Easter Bunny.
Funding for MPTV's PBS Kids Writers Contest is provided by the Harley-Davidson Foundation and the Forest County Potawatomi Foundation.